So you hear that? Now, I often love to show this to folks at universities because the majority of people, even people with PhDs, can't tell you what's going on here. You just get this confused dog look. And almost everyone looks for the most obvious solution, which of course is there's something in the water there that's making that noise. Well, there is nothing in this water, literally nothing. And I've been having loads of fun filming that nothing with a high-speed camera. So every now and again I have to distill some very pure water, and to keep it nice and clean I do it in a single all-glass apparatus, cutting off the vials with an oxypropane torch.
Perfect. Angle number 1.
Such that when you're finished, when you've done all of that, you've got this kit that looks like a spider, and it's a completely sealed kit under vacuum with some water left in it. Now the thing is, there's almost no air left in this whatsoever. It's a vacuum, which means that the space above the water there's only water vapor. And if you shake it, it makes this weird clink, clink, clink sound. So normally when you have a bubble of gas in glass, it looks more like this.
So this is how water behaves. This is now open to the atmosphere. So what you'll find is you can actually get a bubble in there if you work at it. This is regular water. Right, but what you'll find is that bubble is really pretty non-compressible. Right, it doesn't move around much. That's because there's actually gas in here, and for this to move up, the gas has to be compressed. So we can actually get the bubble out. So that's what water looks like, an air bubble looks like under atmospheric pressure.
And this is what it looks like filmed at 1000 frames per second. So when I start shaking it, you can see there's actually water moving around on the inside of that bubble, but the bubble's not really compressing much. Even though there's really quite a lot of agitation on the water here, the actual volume of that bubble isn't changing much.
And this is how it behaves. You see the bubbles? It'll actually sort of go to almost nothing with no effort. Yeah, and if I actually move this around a bit, this weird sound. It really does sound like it's going to break.
And here it is, again filmed at 1000 frames per second, with a similar degree of agitation. So you can see that little bubble, its volume changes hugely with the same amount of shaking. And that's because there's essentially no gas in that bubble, so it can compress a huge amount. So that's kind of cool. So let's now take a look at this with the real high-speed camera, filming at 20,000 frames per second. So I'm going to speed this up a bit, because otherwise time moves kind of slowly at this sort of frame rate. So what you've got here is that's the bubble compressing. And what you're going to see is when that bubble collapses completely, there are all these nucleation sites that just appear throughout the liquid, just like that, and it's amazing. And so some of them, they actually sort of bounce. And also, the bubbles can sort of talk to each other, such that when one bubble collapses, it actually creates more nucleation centers. And it's just amazing watching this. So, with that, I'm going to edit this down a bit such that you just see the bits where it actually nucleates. Because if I didn't, even though there was only about 4 or 5 seconds of video actually recorded by the high-speed camera, it would take you over 40 minutes to watch it all.